an intruder. He just walked right into camp. I believe that Satan has a hold of you. I believe that the Lord God has sent me here. And I believe that in 1978 God changed his mind about black people. You can be a Mormon who just believes.
What the this?
This is the moment I was born to do. And I feel so incredible to be sharing my faith with you. The scriptures say that if you ask in faith, if you ask God himself, you'll know. But you must ask him without any doubt, and let your spirit grow. I believe that God lives on a planet called Goda. I believe that Jesus has his own planet as well. And I believe that the Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri. Believe the Lord will reveal it, and you'll know it's all true. Just feel it. You'll be a Mormon, and by gosh, a Mormon doesn't just believe. A Mormon just I believe.
That is the Book of Mormon. You should go find more songs on YouTube. Almost there, guys. 2 more musicals. The next one is the sensation in America right now. Hamilton. Who has heard of Hamilton? Oh, you guys, you're welcome. You're about to learn something very important about American culture. It just came out in 2015, and like so many others, it won the Tony for Best Musical, but it is a phenomenon in the United States right now. People are obsessed with it. Hey, so many people know the songs. It makes early American history interesting, so a lot of history teachers use this musical now in their classrooms. And it has a lot of different musical styles, but most notably rap and hip-hop. So, the story. This is based on historical facts. It's about one of America's founding fathers, one of the people who created our government in our country. His name was Alexander Hamilton, and he is still on our $10 bill. So, he was born in the Caribbean, and he immigrated to the United States when he was young. He was poor, but he was brilliant. So he worked his way up, is what we say, and he became George Washington's personal assistant during our Revolutionary War for independence against Britain. And then, after the war, when America became a country, he was the first Secretary of the Treasury. Treasury's money. He was the first economics secretary, and he created the Bank of the United States. So he did a lot of important things. The first clip I'm going to show you is just to give you an idea of what the sets and the costumes look like.
Past patiently waiting, I'm passionately smashing every expectation, every action's an act of creation. I'm laughing in the face of casualties of sorrow. For the first time I'm thinking past tomorrow. I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. And it will just like my country, I'm not scrappy and I'm ready. I'm not throwing away my shot. We don't rise, time to take a shot. We don't rise, time to take a shot. We don't rise up, rise up, time to take a shot. Rise up, rise up, time to take a shot. Rise up, time to take a shot. Rise up, take a shot. Rise up, take a shot. Take a shot. I am not throwing away my shots.
The next is just music and lyrics. I want you to hear what some of the rapping sounds like. This song is called My Shot.
I am not throwing away my shot. I am not throwing away my shot. Hey yo, I'm just like my country. I'm young, scrappy, and hungry, and I'm not throwing away my shot. I'm gonna get a scholarship to King's College. I probably shouldn't brag, tag, I amaze and astonish. The problem is I'm not a lot of brains, but no polish. I gotta holler just to be heard with every word I drop knowledge. I'm a diamond in the rough, a shiny piece of coal, trying to reach my goal. My power of speech unimpeachable. Only 19, but my mind is over. These New York City streets get cold. I shoulder every burden, every disadvantage I've learned to manage. I don't have a gun to brandish. I walk these streets famished. The plan is to fan this spark into a flame. But damn, it's getting dark, so let me spell out the name.
So obviously, the first time you listen, your brain is like, what is happening? But if you listen more, this is a great musical to learn some American slang, and also some important vocabulary words that aren't slang. And the last song from this musical that I want you to listen to is called Helpless, because there are some more traditional musical songs. So Alexander Hamilton's wife sings this. Her name is Eliza, and this song is about how she fell in love with him.
Hey,
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 hey, hey, hey, hey.
We were at a revel with some rebels on a hot night, laughing at my sister as she's dazzling the room. And you walked in and my heart went boom, trying to get your eyes on the side of the ballroom. Everybody's dancing and the band's top volume. Ride to the rhythm as we wine and dine. Grab my sister and whisper, yo, this one's mine. Ooh, my sister made her way across the room to you, and I got nervous thinking, what you gonna do? She grabs you by the arm, I'm thinking I'm through. Then you look back at me and suddenly I'm helpless. Oh, look at those up into your eyes, oh, and I'm helpless. Down for the count and I'm drowning and I'm helpless. I'm so into you. Look into your eyes, so into you. I'm helpless. I'm down for the count and I'm drowning and I'm.
So that is Hamilton. If you go to America or talk to an American and you mention Hamilton, people will think like, oh, you know American culture, you know what's happening right now. And the last musical is more of a classic. It is Les Miserables. Who has heard of Les Miserables? Yeah. The drama, the emotions, yes. So, it was first on Broadway in 1987, so around the same time as Phantom of the Opera. Right. It is also one of the longest running musicals of all time. It has had about 6,500 Broadway performances and 10,000 performances in London. And it's been produced in 42 countries in 21 different languages. And it's very, very popular still in the United States. Americans know Les Miserables. Am I right, Americans? Oh. Yes, so, the story. Okay, this is based on a 19th century French novel by Victor Hugo, the man who wrote The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Alright, it has so many characters and so many stories, so this is just the bare bones of it, okay? But this man, Jean Valjean, is a French peasant. He's very poor, and he steals a loaf of bread and goes to prison for 19 years. So, piece of bread, 19 years, bad luck, okay? Now, in the prison, he meets this guard named Javert, and Javert hates Jean Valjean. So when Jean Valjean finally leaves prison after 19 years, Javert says he is going to follow him and to make his life terrible, basically. Jean Valjean adopts a little girl named Cosette. When Cosette is older, she falls in love with a student named Marius. There's a girl called Eponine who is also in love with Marius. There are lots and lots of people, lots of good stories. Everybody has a favorite character and a least favorite character from Les Miserables. And there's also a political revolution that happens. It's in 1832, so it seems crazy, okay? But when you listen to the musical, it makes sense, I promise. You understand what is happening. So the clip I'm going to show you is from the most famous song from the musical, called One Day More. In real English we say one more day, but this is stylized one day more. And this is all the characters together singing about what they hope will happen the next day. So it will seem confusing, but I will write on the board which character is singing. Here we go. This is also a performance from the Tonys. If you want to find other musicals, you can just look for Tony performances. They're amazing.
Please welcome a versatile star of stage and screen, Emmy Rosso.
One day more, another day, another destiny. There's never any road to Calvary. These men who seem to know my crime will surely come a second time one day. I did not live until today. How can I live when we are parted? One day more. Tomorrow you'll be worlds away. And yet with you my world has started.
the different parts. It's very, very dramatic. So those are 8 musicals. I hope at least one of them sounds interesting to you, and you can go find more music for it online. And also, like I said, you can just look for the Tony Awards, and you will find all different kinds of musicals. Famous, not so famous, like every musical has beautiful, amazing songs. So, thank you. That's everything.
And what was My Fair Lady ever staged on Broadway?
Yes.
My
Fair Lady. Yeah, I think Julie Andrews was originally the lead in My Fair Lady.
Tony?
Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Probably.
And don't you know who sang for Eliza Doolittle?
No, I didn't. So, so interesting. Julie Andrews, the woman who was in The Sound of Music, she was on Broadway, the lead in My Fair Lady. But then when they made the movie, they said, Julie Andrews, you are not famous enough.
So you mean with Audrey Hepburn?
Yeah, Audrey
And
Hepburn.
Rex House.
They chose Audrey Hepburn because she was more famous, but Audrey Hepburn couldn't sing. So they had another actress sing for her. And then Julie Andrews became very famous in Mary Poppins afterwards, and she was like, oh, I'm not famous enough for your movie. So there's a good story there. My Fair Lady, another beautiful musical. Questions? Yes?
Yes, I have a question in general about the genre of musical. Is it original American genre? Like, it was born in America or not?
God, I don't know, probably not. Probably not. It was probably born in France, is what I would guess. But the most famous musicals now, well, I can't really say that because I only